Well, good morning and welcome to Let's Play, where we play games in my Steam and GOG library. And this is the second week of our look at the game The Pale Beyond by Bellular Studios. We are in week 2, and it does appear that we have a visitor. Come in. The door swings open to reveal Kurt Darling, all but filling its frame, grinning ear to ear. There you are, Officer Shaw. The ship's navigator is a difficult man to miss. Stature and reputation precede him. Adorned with a slew of apparatus, the seemingly one-man expedition would be known to anyone following the heyday of exploration and the merchandising that followed. It's an honor. Really, a wealth of invaluable experience in such hostile environments. I wonder he's not been swept up to some other post. Hiding away from the rest of us, are you? Are you always this early to rise? These days I tend to enjoy a good lie-in, but not during an expedition. You know what they say of early birds and worms? Apologies for not stopping by sooner, Shaw. It took a while to set up my team, and a great deal of the crew were quite eager to meet me. It's not often they work with a film star, is it? Certainly. It's completely understandable on their part. There aren't many who haven't seen my films, particularly in this line of work. More than one fellow in this crew said my work inspired them to explore the world. Quite the honor, is it not? I'm certain you receive that praise often. Not as often as you would think. I suppose I did get distracted, didn't I? Anyway, I was hoping you'd join me up deck. Of course, but why? We've finally entered the pack. I thought you'd want to see it for yourself. I'll be right behind you, Kurt. Kurt turns to walk away before turning back. Oh, and enjoy your morning. It's a good day, Shaw. Har! He leaves. Kurt Darling at it to manifest. The ship makes its last part at Oriya Island. Cordell's sledding dogs are picked up. The scouting crew and Kurt Darling are picked up. The days are getting brighter as you move further south. Alright, so we have a cute little, nice little room here. It's very tiny. Just enough for the absolute essentials. Pretty normal for a ship's quarters. The door to the doctor's office remains locked. Seems the good doctor isn't in, or perhaps enjoying his sleep. You are yet to come across the ship's doctor even after all this time. Enter your cabin. I think that is the kid over there, or our erstwhile photographer. Let's go above deck. Oh, and it's quite chilly, isn't it? The helm. At the stern, you notice an older sailor at the helm. The old man takes in a deep breath in the cold air before letting out a satisfied exhale. Morning! And a good morning to you. He eyes you up. Officer Shaw, right? Lefty. Call me that on account of, well, it should be obvious. He chuckles. Don't worry about the bad sight. This is all feel. Just keeping her steady. He examines you. Surprised Hunt picked from outside for his first mate. Surprised as well. He seems the insular type. He is. You must be something special for Hunt to look outside the ranks. You got the experience at least. Merchant Navy's quieter though. Mornings like these are about the only peace I get from the younger lot. You should take these moments when you can. Lefty returns his attention to the helm. As you get older, I suppose you learn to value the quiet moments, eh? Let us hope we're just as diligent when we're old and gray. Myself before you, of course. Alright, let's join Kurt at the bow. You join Kurt at the bow of the ship. You both feel the Temperance break the floes below you. Gripping the railing, he draws an enormous breath. The footing beneath rises as the ship mounts an impending ice floe. There's a moment's hesitation before a profound crack relieves the ship, cascading across the ice. He exhales. See? Nothing else like it. You weren't wrong. It's something, all right. Look at the ice. No two cracks are the same. All caused by us. By the laws of nature, this place wants us dead. And yet, here we are, traversing in harmony. How fantastic is that? How far are we from land? We're about a week's sail from the last known location of the old Viscount. Assuming she isn't exactly where they left her, we can't take smooth sailing for granted. Same goes for this daylight. It won't remain this bright for so long once winter encroaches. Beautiful as the ice is, on this course, it's going to get thicker. He looks out across the white. We won't be so confident when the leads dry up and we're stuck here till the next cycle. We need to change course. Avoid the pack. Have you informed Captain Hunt? He won't listen to me. Thinks I've been dulled by retirement. I've probably seen more ice than he has whiskey. It's not my decision. Yes, but you have the captain's ear. Have you ever experienced a long night winter? It's not pleasant, to say the least. If it comes to that, we'll adapt. I can see why he hired you. You should understand, Robin. We're only as good as the unhappiest man. I'll do what I can. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Kurt nods and turns back to look across the ice. Alright, I guess we're going to the captain's cabin. Ah, Shaw. Ready for another day of work? Did you hear Kurt's advice? He wants us to switch course. He had a few words to share. He may have been an expert in his time, but these days Kurt is one with more money than sense. Anyway, back to work. I was hoping you'd help me work through a few more requests from the crew. You may have noticed the line pulling up outside. Everyone wants something, it seems. Call them in as you please. Who are we going to start with? Shall we start with this grouchy-looking fella here? Hammond. A short, sour-faced man in engineer clothes appears. Are you acting daft, Hunt? Not with intention. Not bloody surprised you didn't notice. Shaw, this is our chief engineer, Clive Hammond. An opinionated one. What is it, Hammond? We've hit the ice and you haven't assigned any extra men down on the boiler. You have your engineering team, and we've only got 6 arms between us. I need more manpower maintaining this. Sailors. Many of the crew have their own tasks they're busy with. I know, I've already signed Smurf on a matter. The captain turns to you. How many do you think is fair? 1? 3? More? Open the crew manifest to choose how many sailors you wish to assign. Okay, Smurf is disposed. Yosef? Carvid? Two Johns? Two Johns looks like he would be a pretty good one. Joseph, I think he's the cook, isn't he? No, he's not the cook. Let's go with Vern. And Joseph looks like the sturdy type. We'll choose him. Okay. You could take Tashi, 2 Johns, and Joe. Surely that's a generous amount. We'll see about that. Let's hope. Can't spare any more, I'm afraid. The engineer holds his tongue. Fine. He leaves. A good spirit, that one, beneath the oil and the temper. You won't be seeing much of him, though. Prefers to burrow himself into the boiler room. Captain Shaw? A thought occurred to me the other day while looking through the crew's manifest, and... well, it might be too late for this now, but we've already entered the ice. Out with it. I thought it would be good to have individual photos of the full crew. For your report. Not only my report, it would be good reference for the manifest. Put faces to the names. Much of this crew has served me for years. Some decades. I have little problem putting faces to the names. Your thoughts, Shaw? It seems a good idea. If nothing else, it would make for a good souvenir. Sentimental of this expedition, are you? +6 to decorum. Some proper photographs will have some historical weight to it. Well, Belford, I see no problem there. I'll arrange for the pictures to be taken before the crew have their dinner. Thank you, Captain Shaw. In the meantime, I'll attempt to get as many individual crew photos as I can. You're still welcome to help on that matter, Officer Shaw. She departs, satisfied. Corbett enters the office. Hunt, you asked for a report on how the stowaway was doing. I wanted to see if the young boy has been settling in well. He has indeed. It means another mouth to feed, but the boy works hard and doesn't ask much. He has his da to guide him as well. I'm sure the boy's father is ecstatic. Worried sick, but happy, aye. Well, what do you know, Shaw? Perhaps we were right to keep the boy aboard. She leaves. Alright, so I guess that went about as well as it could. Good to have all that settled then. Perhaps we shouldn't rule out old Kurt so easily. If the man thinks there could be an alternate path through the ice, he's free to search for it. Shaw, meet with him when you have time. Changing course or not, we'll want one his scouts set up in the crow's nest. Take care of that, then you'll be done for the day. Alright. Aye, Captain. The rigging. While examining the rigging of the ship, your eyes notice a figure darting by, climbing on the ropes with ease. The figure lands on their feet before dusting themselves off. Their outfit denotes one of Kurt's scouting crew. Ah, no problems. She looks to you. And you are? Officer Shaw? Yourself? Flick, I'm one of Kurt's crew. Don't worry about my safety. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. Kurt doesn't just hire anyone. Well, he didn't hire me for no reason. Got the medals in gymnastics if you're worried about my credentials. Flick jumps up and returns to scaling the rigging of the ship. Soren Killeper was added to the manifest. Speak to the navigator. Send me up there. I'll get you a reading. The scientist eyes the man's cane and turns to you. I believe the navigator means you to send one of his scouts. The navigator clears his throat and taps his cane. Of course. If you find one of mine, they'll get us a reading rightly. Alright, I guess we've already found one. We found Soren, so They ascend to the nest and take a reading with the sextant. All clear from up top. So we can see Orca Island, which is where we were at. The last part you made, where you picked up Kurt and the scouting team from. The last known location of the Viscount, your destination. Anything else? No, that looks like about everything we can see on the map, except for this giant ice floe, which we should probably work our way around, but who knows. Alright. So I guess we're done with that. Approach the sick young man. You spot a youthful-looking man leaning over the side of the ship, his head slumped as he looks into the icy pool below. It appears he's been visited by a spot of seasickness. Are you okay? You speak out, and the sickly man doesn't answer. He raises his head and turns to spot you, his eyes widening in shock as he does. A bespectacled young man shaking with unease. He stares at you for a brief moment, a look of shame plastered upon his face. Sorry. Are you all right? Yes. Well, not really. I'm very sorry. The man turns around and hurriedly runs in the opposite direction, avoiding your gaze. Author Nutley added to the manifest. Okay. And that's up top is a map. And it does look like the only thing we have left to do at the moment is descend below. You overhear two of the newly arrived scouting crew talking. Ah, Quilsey. Have any trouble settling in? Not too bad. I can't wait for a chance to sleep, though. A proper navigator never rests until their work is done. Of course, I take it you had no issue settling in. Not at all. The crew are a funny lot. Old Kurt certainly caught their attention. Huh. Do you think any of them would mistake Kurt and myself? I think you'd collapse from joy if they did. Huh, perhaps. So we have now introduced ourselves in a roundabout way to two more members of the crew. Hooded sailor, approach the cook, approach the accordionist. He spots you and ceases his playing. Need something? You're Grimly, aren't you? The man grunts. I. Grimly Stoke? I'm the ship's carpenter. Ah, then you're Junior's brother. Junior? Oh, you're Shaw. Junior mentioned you. In a positive or negative light? Ask him yourself. Won't keep you from your work. Don't keep me from my break. You spot a suspicious-looking sailor emerge from the pantry. The hooded sailor spots you, keeping their hands firmly in their pockets. Not what it looks like, Officer Shaw. Pleck, but call me Gnomes. I'm not thieving anything. I'll take you at your word. Expected you to interrogate me more. No worries. I was just setting up a practical joke. And what is this practical joke? Not going to spoil the surprise. It's not at your expense if that's your concern. Have to get some enjoyment around here, don't you think? With that mysterious trap set, Gnome scurries off to the upper decks to return to work. Skylar Pleck added to the manifest. Oh, good, we have a jokester. Isn't that wonderful? Hey, Shaw, can you grab some tins from the pantry? It's nearly time for dinner. The moment you enter the pantry, a bag of flour drops on your head, scattering all over your officer's uniform. Heck was that? Gnomes! You wipe the flour off you before continuing. Tinned food. You lift a crate of tins from the shelves. Crew need fed for the week. Feed the hush pot. Oh, that actually added food to the... Okay. Pumps. Okay. Anything else? Best make use of this kitchen while we can. Well, let's call the crew for dinner. Shall we? The crew had their meal. Or shall we toast to the ice? Aye. The days get longer, but dinner is fixed. It will see us through the long days and the darkest nights. The crew return to their post. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. You can't help but notice that it's still bright outside. You notice two sailors passing by from the dinner table. An inebriated sailor on wobbling legs, leaning on the shoulder of another. Ah, good times, good times. Need to learn to handle your drink, Tucker. Ah, but I'm fine. My mates can carry me, eh, Cavity? They can also drop you. Have two Johns carry you next time. Are you asleep? Okay, so we got a drunk. Why am I not surprised? Anything going on up here? We can listen some more conversation. You overhear two engineers chatting above deck. Or rather, you overhear one engineer speaking with another. Don't know how the chief could stay down there all evening. You ever see Mr. Hammond eat? I haven't. Maybe he doesn't even eat. Man's not human if he can work all day and night on that boiler. Probably doesn't sleep either. He probably sleeps. Aye, Dick, it's figurative. Right. And we have added 2 more people to the manifesto. Very good. Let's go to the forecastle. The dogs regard her with rapt attention as she paces between them, bowl in hand. The largest joins her side as you approach. Try some. I've already eaten. Fair. She takes a sip herself without hesitation. Penguin, some plover, fats and proteins, fastest way to hydrate them. Was there something you needed? Where did they come from? It's hard to tell the exact breeds at this point. They belong here more than we do. Unlike us, they need the ice. It cools them through their paws as they run. They'd overheat otherwise. Who's that beside you? This is Stanberry. Bark. Strong animal. Very. They handle stress differently, adapt quickly. There's plenty to be learned from them. You love these animals. They need me, and you'll need them. Pet Stanberry. It barks at you and moves behind its master. Well, we tried. And I see a nice healthy pack of dogs here. Very good. Okay. So, we have met the dogs in a roundabout way. And we'll head to our quarters. And unless there's anything else left to do. I think we are done for the day. So we're going to lose 58 food rations. We're going to go half on that. We should probably go half on the food rations, but we're not. Again, we will go half on the fuel, even though people aren't going to like it much. Being chilly is better than being hungry. Another week passes. The Temperance has finally entered the thick ice leads. The days grow even brighter. And we have saved. And I think with that, we are going to pause here. And, well, we'll see what happens next time. But until then, bye for now.